Hey guys, it's been a while. Now I was on YouTube this morning and I stumbled across something I thought was quite interesting. It was by a YouTuber called Double4anime. It was towards a guy called Swagkage. Now, if you don't know these two, they're both quite big in the anime community. They both focus around Naruto. And Swagkage's video was his opinion on Naruto so far. And if you haven't watched Naruto, it's basically the next generation of Naruto. And I want to say something before you watch Double Four's video. Um, First of all, I would like to apologize to another anime YouTuber by the name of For Neverworld. I attempted to remove you as much as possible from the video, but could not completely do so. So I do apologize for that. Second thing, and this is the last thing, I really do appreciate you guys for watching this. No, I don't dislike either of these YouTubers. I respect their opinion. And that is that. Please enjoy the video. Well, as much as you can anyway.
So, Swagkage, another YouTuber in the Naruto community, basically said Boruto is pussy shit. And he does do some Madara level damage control and saying, but Boruto's alright kind of thing because, he gets views off of Boruto, but the same points that he uses to demean the Boruto story, he could use those same points to actually demean part of the Naruto story. Now, not the complete Naruto story, but a part of it. Your video, honestly, I understand what you were trying to say, but it really says less about the quality of the Boruto story and more about how good part 1 was. Really, that's what your video is doing. Because you take a bunch of clips from part 1 and you compare them to a very young series of Boruto, and by the way, you use clips from Boruto Naruto the movie. The anime could be completely different in the same way that the Dragon Ball Super anime is different from the manga. In fact, the movie was even adapted differently. Battle of Gods, right? You might get better Chunin exams, fights, and darker moments. You just don't know yet because we're not that deep into the story. The second Sasuke left the village and the Akatsuki were introduced and we got a giant war uniting all of the villages together, I realized the ship had sailed when basically talking about how great isolated fights were amongst different characters that had nothing to do with a majority of the other villages. Fights that little by little expanded the Naruto universe, but in a much better way, which we can both agree because you spam Land of Waves clips in your video. But that's not to say that Shippuden era content with the higher power ceilings, the more explosive attacks, and the Boruto universe, which is a product of, all the things leading up till the finale, and obviously Kaguya Otsutsuki, right? Which I know you probably aren't the biggest fan of that character, but we're talking about Boruto here, so I gotta contextualize everything, right? It's not to say that that material is bad, because even though the direction changed and Kishimoto was pressured to rapidly change the story, probably somewhat because Shonen Jump was trying to milk the fuck out of Naruto, he still penned it well. So for you to take Boruto that's barely started and call it pussy shit comparing, all these amazing freaking clips from part 1 to stuff in Boruto when you don't even take context into fucking consideration, that's what pisses me off. When Naruto, Sasuke, and other protagonists in the series, the allies, the different, united villages, take down hundreds of thousands of white Zetsus and hundreds of very powerful, infamous, resurrected ninjas, ultimately saving the world from multiple threats after that, Obito, Madara, Kaguya, and you have these characters that could body pretty much anything in the Naruto story, and they have kids. Do you understand why the situation's going to be a little bit different? I just want you to understand that because then I could meet you somewhat halfway in the sense that, yeah, maybe they could write some of the villains better, even in the new generation, right? Maybe, indeed, they could slow things down and focus more on the fights. But one thing that I do believe is going on is that there's a new generation of Naruto Boruto fans. And this isn't my generation. These are people that don't have the same attention spans that we have. These are people growing up in a completely different generation, right? And they don't want to see the same kind of development and expansion and sophisticated, reasons behind, why characters do the things they do, or motives behind, why characters do the things they do. They just want to see crazy freaking fights between gods and other gods, Naruto and Sasuke. They want to see the spamming of explosive jutsu, and unfortunately, I believe that they're catering to those people because we are becoming more and more the minority as we get older. Claims that they're pampered, they're weak, and they're just boring, right? But here's the problem, is like, obviously the worlds are different, so they're gonna have completely different problems, right? And keep in mind the story just started, but I don't even feel like that's the biggest problem, because of course they're gonna be pampered. They live in a unified world, and Naruto is like the supreme Jesus trying to make sure everybody is, loved and at peace with each other, and they took out a god, keep in mind, that threatened the existence of the entire world. I don't even feel like that's the problem. The problem is, almost honestly, that the kids are sort of copies of their parents, right? And I've actually talked about this before, but I do feel like I'm not giving the characters enough time to grow out of that, I guess, mold, right? One of the things with Boruto is that he wants to get out of Naruto's shadow. So I'm not going to critique Boruto's character out the freaking wazoo until Boruto develops and he has a chance to grow out of that shadow, right? But that should have been one of your main critiques, that the kids are just like very similar to their parents and they just feel like clones, so it feels like a watered down story to some degree of the first series. That would have been a better argument. I'm just a bit more optimistic, right? You see Boruto and Kawaki at the start of the anime and all this destruction in the Hidden Leaf Village, which is very reminiscent of the Naruto-verse Pain situation, right? In part 2 of Naruto, or Naruto, right? We're just gonna call it Naruto. So are they gonna be pampered then? Because you use part 1 clips, I believe, like 90 or 100 episodes in. You get what I'm trying to say right here? I'm not saying that the Boruto story isn't too quickly paced, because I will admit, like, they should focus more on these fights in the Chunin exams. They should give the villains better motives. I can agree with you there. But again, just very weak criticisms, and I don't feel like you're giving Boruto enough time to grow as a series on you, and I guess on your community as well, because you got a lot of fans, Swagkage. I'd say you got a bigger channel than mine. Look at the amount of activity on your videos, compare it to mine, right? But again, I feel like you're also letting a lot of your fans down when you're giving these bullshit explanations behind, why the series that, by the way, made your channel big sucks, and it's pussy shit. You said Shin Uchiha sucked as a villain. You must admit, the fight between Sakura and Shin in the recent episode was fantastic. Probably the best fight in the Boruto series to date. You also don't like Momoshiki as an extension of Kaguya because they came out of nowhere in your mind. Didn't Madara come out of nowhere? Be honest, didn't Obito come out of nowhere? You could say the same thing about a lot of characters, honestly. If anything, to ensure the Boruto series be consistent and, be successful, they're going to need to constantly bring the Otsutsuki clan back, and they're going to need to involve new characters from that clan and basically create more tension, because they're the only ones that could rival Naruto and Sasuke. And don't even get me started with the Kata organization in the manga. Probably a religious group tied to the Otsutsuki clan. And as long as they keep things consistent and they introduce the Otsutsuki threats, like time to time, they don't have to do it all in one arc, although there could be a giant war between the Otsutsuki clan, like a lot of the members gang up together on the Earth because they see like, so many of our family members have died here, like this is just one planet to harvest. They don't have to just splash it in God Otsutsuki material, but at the same time, that's what would actually keep the story consistent. And to you, these are just ass-pull characters, despite the fact that the artwork was completely redrawn for Momoshiki, which made him look completely better, despite the fact that the Otsutsuki clan explains why every single Kekkei Genkai exists in the Naruto universe. And again, you might not like the direction of the explosive attacks and the expanded universe that's no longer like completely isolated and tribal as it was when there was like a lot of tensions with the village, but to criticize that, man, the ship has already sailed. Like, this video's about Boruto, bro. Frick, we're gonna be getting a new Hoshigaki member in this up-and-coming, what seems to be like a Land of Waves 2.0 arc. I don't know how they're gonna pull that off, but that's gonna be, something to wait on. Like, maybe if you made this video after that arc, you'd have some better points. But this video just wasn't well made. Maybe you're just a little bit salty that if like me and you both asked Sumire on a date, like Sumire would ultimately like fuck me. Like she would fuck me. Like that's what I think you're salty about ultimately. Cause like what's with the Sumire hate? I honestly like her motivations. Like she was brainwashed, right? Like the foundation was a thing in Naruto. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed me destroying Swagkage's Why Boruto is Pussy Shit video. Complete utter BS. It's nonsense. Don't listen to this, guys. Continue enjoying the Boruto series, and of course, Boruto won't ever live up to Naruto and what this story did for us. I mean, that's why we're following Boruto at the end of the day, because Naruto got us into the entire universe. It won't ever be on that part 1 quality because that ship has sailed. But it could still be just as fun to watch, and it could also reach a bunch of new viewers who might look back at that old material and be like, you know what, this is cool, but I don't really like it any less than this new stuff that's going on. There's actually people like that, Swagkage.
Alright, now that you've finished watching Double4's video, I'd like to go over some of my main issues with it, if you will. First, let's look at what I think was the biggest point of contention with Double4 towards Swagkage, is the fact that the show is only 28 episodes in or something like that. For an anime, that's fairly short. Well, fairly long, I should say. For a shonen, it's fairly short, but we'll get into that in a minute. Now, most anime would be lucky to get 12 episodes. Maybe 24 if they're lucky, and they're going on 29. Naruto itself had me by episode 12. So you can, and I don't mind fighting, don't get me wrong, but my big point with the original Naruto was character. I liked the characters and I liked how they fought. I liked how their style reflected them. Now, I wasn't expecting that when I watched Naruto, or at least the few episodes I have watched. But I did expect to get some understanding from them. Sadly, I did not. The most we know about Naruto is that he's Naruto's son, has this weird dojutsu eye, and I hope I'm saying that right, and does not want to be Hokage. Now, the news we get from Sadara, who's the other main character at this point, is she wants to be Hokage, and she's Sasuke's kid. They both have daddy issues in some form or another. Now let's break down another point that Swagkage had, and what Double4's opinion was. He said the pacing was wrong. Now, I have to agree. When I watch Dragon Ball or Bleach or Naruto, I want a decent fight with a little bit of backstory in it. Not a rushed fight with no backstory and just go with it. That to me is no fun. That to me is not fun to watch. I want to see them struggle. I want to see that back and forth in the fight, and I want to root for the hero to win. Not just boom, done. Boom, done on to the next one. That's all I've seen from Naruto. And another thing that really got under my skin was Double4 brought up Swagkage's channel size compared to his. Like that matters in your discussion. People are going to watch your video because they're going to watch your video and they want to get your opinion. Now, I'm going to put both their videos down in the description and you can personally decide what your opinion on the matter is. Because I really wanted my opinion to be heard on this. But if we continue with the comparison, after you look at the two of them, Swagkage was actually able to, on some level, extenuate his point. Without a mic, I might add. It was all through text he spoke in this case. He didn't have his mic with him. Far better than Double4 did. Like, Double4 used padding throughout his video, as I mentioned earlier. The YouTuber for Neverworld was used to pad his video to 10.5 minutes, and I narrowed it down to like 9 minutes and 25 seconds, I think it was. In a video where you're discussing and reacting to somebody else's, I really don't think you should have another YouTuber reacting to that same video to pad out your video. Another thing I really didn't like was at the end, when Double4 couldn't think of anything intelligent to say. He's like, "You're just salty because this chick would bang me and not you." Now, I'm all for waifus in anime. Don't get me wrong. I have a couple. The friends that know me know who they are. But, this anime chick would bang me and not you, and that's why you made this video. That's why you're so salty. Is the stupidest thing I have ever fucking heard. And you should, on some level, feel bad. And just so you two know, I have no hate towards either of you. Your opinion, Double4, your opinion, Swagkage. I have no inclination towards either or. I've not necessarily watched the show. I may not watch the show. So that's based on my own opinion. But I know there's the fans that are going to pick on me, which is fine. I made this video fully expecting that. But know that I don't hate either of these people. I quite enjoy their content, I will say. Even though I have not watched much of Double4, at least he put some effort into it. Compared to other people in Swagkage, I have watched several of his videos. It's through his videos that I've personally gotten to understand the Naruto universe. So, I just want that to be clear. And thank you guys for listening.